Do you feel it? That something is about to happen? A feeling you can't quite name, like the universe is holding on to a secret, just waiting for the perfect moment to burst open. Dear Sagittarius, October 21st is not just a number. It's a mark, a fracture line in the timeline, where you will no longer be the person you once were. A gate is about to open, and your soul will have to choose, move forward or turn back. I know you think you're ready, but I'm here to tell you, you were never truly prepared for what's coming. You thought you had already reached the shore, but the wave is rising higher than ever. I promise you, if you stay until the very end of this video, you'll realize that what you once called coincidence was actually a signal from a destiny being woven behind the scenes. Write in the comments, I am ready to receive my great destiny. Because when you write that down, you're not just affirming it, you're tuning into the sacred frequency that's calling your name. And Sagittarius, this is only the beginning. In the next part, I will reveal why the astrological event on October 21st will touch the deepest wound in your soul and why it might just save you from a repeating cycle that has haunted you for years. There are days when you just know something is coming. You can't name it. No one tells you anything clearly, but there's a pressure in the air. Like the world is about to change color. October 21st is one of those days. A day when the stars don't just move, they reach a frequency that can't be undone. And for Sagittarius, the nomadic soul of the zodiac, this hits you right at the core. You're not just here to survive, you're here to awaken. At 29 degrees Libra, the sun is in its final moments before crossing into Scorpio, a journey from peace to depth, from the outside to the within. 29 degrees is the anaretic degree, the degree of crisis, decision, and release. In ancient astrology, 29 degrees is like the moment before a leap. You know you can't go back, but you're still terrified to jump. And Sagittarius, that's exactly where you stand right now. Caught between the collapse of what was and the unknown shape of what's to come. As someone who has studied astrology for over 20 years, I've seen this pattern again and again. When the sun touches 29 degrees, people fall into the black hole of choice. You know you can't live the old way anymore, but you still don't know who you're becoming. And now, Chiron, the wounded healer, is in Aries, directly opposing the sun. When these two forces create a mirror, that's when the light of truth shines right on the places you've been hurt and tried to forget. Maybe you were betrayed by someone you trusted in love. Maybe you tried so hard to belong to a community, but always felt like the outsider looking in. Maybe you buried your passion because you thought you weren't good enough to chase it. And now, everything is rising back up like waves hitting the shore, unstoppable. We often believe time heals all wounds, but sometimes the wound isn't healed. It's only hidden, waiting for a powerful shift of the soul to finally touch it and release it. If you've ever felt misunderstood, left out, or abandoned a dream just because someone said you couldn't, comment, I choose to heal and walk forward with my light. Depending on your personal birth chart, this energy may land in the 5th house, creativity, children, passion, romantic connections, or the 11th house, soul mission, community, the future. If your 5th house is being activated, you may face deep shifts in love or emotional connection. Someone you trusted could do something that shakes you. A project you've poured your heart into may suddenly hit a wall. If it's the 11th house, you may realize you no longer belong to the circles you once called home. You may start asking yourself, am I really living my soul's mission yet? You want to contribute, but you don't know where to begin. I believe we were not born to fit in everywhere. You were born to find the place your soul truly belongs. And sometimes, losing old connections isn't loss at all. It's cleansing, so your real destiny can finally walk in. This astrological event is like a fuse that's already been set. You don't know the exact moment it will go off, but when it does, you'll feel it instantly. Maybe it comes as a shocking conversation, a message sent by accident, but it reveals the truth you were never told. Someone from the past might return, carrying remorse or accusation, or maybe it's just a sudden emptiness in your chest. No reason, no person, no trigger, just a silent call that something must change. There are moments in life when you think you're falling apart, but in truth, you're just being peeled open. Layer by layer, to return to who you really are. If you've ever gone through something you thought you'd never recover from and somehow came out stronger, comment, "I am a soul forged in the fire of truth." Here's the message I want to emphasize the most. October 21st is not the day you lose something. It's the day you finally see what needs to be released. Don't be afraid if someone walks away. Don't panic if a door suddenly closes, because if it comes from a cycle that no longer serves your soul's growth, its ending is a blessing. A beginning doesn't always look like a beginning, and growth often wears the disguise of collapse. You were not born to live in silence. You are the exclamation mark in the symphony of the universe. You are the cry echoing through the desert, where it seems no one is listening, and yet the seeds are still being sown. Stand tall, even if no one understands you yet. Even if you don't have all the answers, because the light within you is the compass. Comment below, "I allow the light of my soul to guide me." And if this message is speaking directly to your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who may be silently searching for something real, something invisible, but undeniably true. In the next part, we'll explore how this energy is opening powerful new channels for abundance. Delayed money is returning. A connection you thought was lost is finding its way back to you. But most importantly, how can you not only survive October 21st, but truly rise from it? Stay with me, because what comes next might be the answer your soul has been aching to hear. Some souls were born to stay still. Others were born to never remain in one place too long. Sagittarius is the latter. You didn't come into this world to seek safety, you came to seek truth. You don't travel to arrive, you travel to understand. And you don't burn brightly because someone gave you permission. You burn because it is your soul's survival instinct. When others fall, you rise. When every door closes, you find a new path. And when the world goes silent, you still hear the quiet voice inside whispering, "There is another way." I know there are days when you're exhausted, not because you're weak, but because the feet of a nomadic soul grow tired after wandering unnamed roads. And the heart of a truth seeker sometimes just longs for a place to rest without needing to explain. If you're feeling confused, out of breath, or lonely, it doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're exactly where you're meant to be. People often don't understand you. They say you're hard to read, too dreamy, unstable. But that's because they've never lived with a heart set on fire by a truth they haven't yet found words for. They've never known the pain of someone who was born to be different, but raised to be the same. I've always believed to live like a Sagittarius is to live courageously, to see what no one else dares to see, to leave behind what no longer resonates, and to love, even when it might break you. If there's one thing that keeps a Sagittarius awake at night, it's lies. Nothing hurts you more than half-truths. Nothing disappoints you more than deception dressed up as stability. You can handle a painful truth, but you cannot coexist with sweet-sounding falsehoods. Maybe you walked away from a relationship simply because you no longer felt like yourself in it. Maybe you gave up something precious just to remain loyal to your soul's integrity. Some choices won't make you safer, but they make you real. Some losses are actually the universe's way of protecting your soul from invisible suffocation. If you've ever chosen truth, even when it left you alone, comment, "I choose truth, even when no one understands me." Others learn from books, you learn from wounds. Others learn from advice, you learn from loss, and somehow, you learn fast. You don't hold grudges, you don't look back. You simply smile, say your goodbyes, and continue your journey, carrying each lesson as another piece in your map of becoming. There are some pains that don't need to be spoken aloud because they have become your eyes, your steps, and the calm in your breath. This is how Sagittarius survives. This is how you grow. You are the one people come to when they've stopped trusting everyone else. Because no matter how many times you've been hurt, you still believe in the good. You still choose to forgive, to understand, to keep your heart light. Not because you're weak, but because you know holding on to resentment is like carrying extra baggage on a journey that's already been far too long. Write this in the comments. I choose to let go so my soul can move forward in peace. Because sometimes forgiveness isn't about whether they deserve it. It's about whether you deserve freedom. There are moments when you feel like everyone around you is living in a different world. They worry about things you don't find important. They chase after things you no longer want to hold on to. They build walls while you build bridges, and sometimes you wonder, am I wrong for being too idealistic? For believing in things I can't yet prove? No, Sagittarius, you are not wrong. Your mission is not to convince the world. It's to live with such truth that those who are lost may look at you and remember the light within themselves. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to prove anything to be seen. All you need to do is keep walking with an open heart, with eyes facing forward, with unwavering faith in yourself. And every step you take will become a path for someone else. The strongest souls are often the ones who've walked through the most storms in silence. If you feel like you're playing the role of a guide, even when no one notices, write this in the comments. I choose to keep shining, even in silence. The astrological event on October 21st isn't just a spark on the cosmic map. It's a moment when your soul returns to its original state, free, brave, instinctual, and drawn to the light. You'll be placed before a choice. Stay with what feels familiar, but limiting, or step into unknown territory where nothing is guaranteed, but your soul feels deeply called. And it's within that choice that you will remember who you are. In the next part of this journey, I'll share why October 21st might trigger the unexpected return of someone who once walked away from your life. Why a simple message could make you cry in silence. And what is quietly shifting inside you that's about to attract money, opportunities, and love in ways you never imagined. Stay with me and write in the comments, I'm ready to see what my soul has feared all this time. You didn't come this far just to turn back. You've endured, you've transformed, you've learned to stay silent through heartbreak, so don't let fear of walking alone drag you back to what you've already outgrown. I believe you'll understand, and what comes next might be the light you've been waiting for. There are silences that feel as heavy as stone. You may sense someone still watching you, but not with ordinary eyes. More like a gaze hanging on the edge of memory, close yet distant, as if they never truly left. And one day, very likely on October 21st, that curtain may be pulled back. You might receive a message, a call, or just a subtle, invisible touch, a whispered apology, a confession. A truth finally spoken that they never had the courage to share before. You have no idea why they left or why they came back. That sentence, it's like a shard of broken mirror, reflecting every piece of memory, every wound you've stitched together with tears. Maybe they were the lover who vanished, the best friend who suddenly went silent, or the family member you always longed to hear the truth from. Maybe they left because they were scared, because they felt helpless, because they made a decision that looked rational, but was hollow inside. Maybe they left to save themselves because they couldn't bear to face the cracks in the relationship. But when they return, they don't come back as the same person. They come back with the one thing they couldn't offer before, the truth. And the truth won't always bring relief. Sometimes it's so heavy, you'll feel like falling to your knees. Because truth doesn't just tell you why someone left, it brings you face to face with the root of your sorrow. It doesn't simply say, he left for this reason, or she walked away because of that. No, it pulls you into the exact moment you pretended to be okay. It unravels the nights you lied to yourself, the times you accepted less because you were too afraid to lose everything. Truth is the blade that both cuts and cleanses. It strips away the illusions, the hollow promises, the half-hearted gestures, the moments you stayed silent just to keep the peace. And when the surface falls away, what's left beneath is an aching void, a sacred space, where your soul longs to be touched by something real. I believe tears are not a sign of failure. Tears are the soul's first language. When it finally meets the truth, they wash away the residue, so you can see what truly matters. Sometimes we think we're being held back by someone else, but in truth, a part of us allowed it. We feared loneliness. We clung to familiarity. We couldn't bear to dismantle the life we had built, even if it no longer fit. And the longer we stayed, the more distant that inner voice became. Yes, Someone else may have started the chain, but we kept it going. That's why, when someone returns, whether with an apology or not, they become a mirror. A mirror that reflects not just them, but you and the choices you made. And that is a dangerous gift, because it demands that you look at your own part in the story. But responsibility is not a burden. It's a doorway to freedom. The moment you realize you gave away your inner power is the same moment you begin to take it back. When truth rises to the surface, you'll stand before two paths. You can carry your wounds like a judgment, or use truth as a compass. To liberate yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean instant reconciliation. Forgiveness is a declaration of sovereignty. It's the moment you say, I will no longer allow someone else's choices to dictate my emotions. Forgiveness is reclaiming your power. Maybe today, you'll cry for what was lost, but tomorrow, let those same tears become the waters that rebuild something new, not to forget, but to understand. And from that understanding, to release. If you've ever felt like your soul was held hostage by someone else's shadow, comment this now. I release all old attachments and open my heart to new light. Write it out. Because when you write it, you stop holding it like a lonely secret. You offer it to the light, and its power to haunt you begins to fade. Just because someone returns from the past doesn't mean you're obligated to embrace them. You have the right to decline. You have the right to set sacred boundaries. You have the right to ask for real change, not rushed apologies. And if you do choose to receive them again, make sure it's from a place of healing, not fear of loss. Let this reconnection be tested by action, not just words. True love does not require blindness. Mature love knows how to say no with grace. It guards its own energy. It offers chances for growth, not for recycling pain. It may sound like a paradox, but a painful truth might just be your greatest rescue. Because only when the truth shines, can you finally see the cycle you've been caught in. Truth is the beam that slices through the fog, and once you truly see, you can finally change. That's salvation, not through miracles, but through awakening. When you understand the origin of your pain, you no longer serve it. You no longer move from it. You learn to ask a new question. What do I truly need to feel safe? What do I truly deserve to feel joy? People are saved more by insight than avoidance. When you choose to understand, you choose to grow. You can choose not to open that message. You can choose to carry on, pretending nothing happened. And that is a choice. But it has a cost, because what you avoid will linger, like a spiritual echo, a phantom in your soul's memory, waiting to be seen. But Sagittarius, if you've ever heard that quiet voice inside you calling, please, don't run from it. Because that voice has followed you through lifetimes. It doesn't demand you be perfect. It only invites you to be real. And if your heart is trembling right now while hearing this, know this, you are not alone. There are other nomadic souls who are holding each other through comments, through stories, through lighting a tiny virtual candle in the middle of the night. Tap like if this part touches your soul. Share this with a fellow Sagittarius who needs to hear it. And most importantly, comment your affirmation. I cut all old ties and open my heart to new light. Because when you write it, you reclaim the pen of your own story. And when many voices write it, a community of awakening begins to rise. That's the true gift of Sagittarius. Not just to walk alone, but to lead others into the light. In the next part, I'll tell you about a message, seemingly small, that could explode like a storm. A message that will bring back the words left unsaid and force you to answer, will you continue or will you let go? And I'll show you how to read the signs, not through cold logic, but through the warm intuition of a Sagittarius heart. Stay with me, because what's coming next will reveal the exact words, symbols, and moments to watch for, so you don't get swept away by emotion and forget who you are. Sagittarius, stay calm, stay rooted in your heart, and prepare yourself for what you're about to hear. Because it might change how you walk through the rest of the season. There is a strange silence approaching, not the peace of stillness, but the stillness of preparation, a sacred pause before something deeply real and deeply transformative. Sagittarius, if you're still here, then this part is especially for you. Not for those rushing through life, but for those who are ready to listen to the truth within. even if it's not easy. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is currently retrograding in Taurus, and when your planetary guide turns inward, you'll feel it more than anyone else. Jupiter, symbol of expansion, optimism, truth, and miracles, now pulls all that energy inward. Not gone, just internalized. In Taurus, the sign of values, money, resources, and self-worth, Jupiter is holding up a mirror. Do you truly believe you're worthy of receiving good things? Are you choosing what's stable, or just settling for short-term comfort to ease your fears? You might be noticing small hiccups in your finances. A contract gets delayed, a payment doesn't arrive on time, a project loses momentum. But none of this is punishment. It's a sacred question in disguise. When the outer resources vanish, do you still believe in the abundance within? Taurus teaches you to cultivate, not chase. Jupiter retrograde asks you to pause and ask, are you living to accumulate or to grow? During my own seasons of financial struggle, I learned something powerful. The universe never takes anything from you. It simply withholds until your frequency matches what you truly desire. When you believe you are worthy, you begin attracting what once felt impossible. Write this in the comments. I believe I am worthy of the very best. Because when you write that truth, you emit the frequency that calls it in. Jupiter retrograde always asks one uncomfortable question. Are you choosing what's right for your soul or what's easy for your mind? Maybe you're in a job that feels secure but drains your life force. Or in a relationship where you no longer feel like yourself. Or simply, you're living as a safe version of yourself, not touching your pain but not growing either. The universe will test you by bringing back the same choices you used to make to see if you'll choose differently now. Pause does not mean failure. Forgiveness does not mean permission. Opening your heart again does not mean repeating the same wound. If you can learn just these 3 things, you'll grow not because of your age, but because you've passed through the darkness and still held on to your light. When you're given a choice, 2 voices always rise within you. One whispers, choose this one, it's safer. But the other, softer, deeper, almost silent, says, choose what's right, even if it's lonely, even if it's slow. And the strange thing is, the right path rarely comes with fireworks. It arrives in silence. It asks you to trust first and see later. It requires you to close the door to the old so the unknown can finally knock. Sagittarius, you were never born to live halfway. You were never born to compromise. Your soul is fire, and it cannot be dimmed just because someone else is afraid of burning. Write in the comments, I choose what's right, not what's easy. And remember, every comment is an energetic seed you're planting into the universe. Maybe you've been having strange dreams lately, finding yourself in a place from the past, meeting someone who once hurt you, or standing at a crossroads, unsure which way to go. Maybe you keep seeing numbers like 1111, 1010, 1212, or suddenly someone brings up a memory you thought was long gone. That's not coincidence. That's a signal. Every time you listen, you align. Every time you ignore, you drift from your true frequency. So, what signs have been reaching out to you lately? What feeling within you is begging to be seen? Don't be afraid when everything starts slowing down. When plans stall, when conversations go silent, when you feel like you're falling behind, because that's exactly how the universe reroutes you. It pulls you off the wrong path to prepare you for a better one. The universe will never let you down, but it also won't let you stay with what no longer serves you. It loves you enough to say no, even when you're not ready to let go, so you can eventually find what your soul truly needs. Comment below, I allow the universe to rearrange my life. Now ask yourself, what makes your heart feel alive? Are you still living for an old reason? Or have you discovered a new one to keep going? Sagittarius, don't worry if you don't have all the answers. All you need is the right question and one honest step each day. You don't need the full map. You just need to start walking and trust that the light will appear, one real step at a time. People often think freedom means no one controls you, but true freedom is when fear, memory, and inner doubt no longer control you. You can live in the middle of a crowded city and still be free. You can walk away from a job everyone admires just because your soul no longer feels alive. And yes, you can forgive someone, not for them, but to set yourself free. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just need to live truthfully, so you never have to apologize for being loyal to your heart. Right now, as Jupiter is still retrograding, as money feels uncertain, as you're not quite sure what's coming on October 21st, the best thing you can do is come back to yourself. Journal, breathe in stillness, ask yourself the real questions, and don't force the answers to come right away. Just keep the candle inside you lit, and eventually, everything will become clear. If this part awakens something in you, comment, I believe I am worthy. I choose what's right. I allow the universe to guide me. Tap like if you're on the journey of returning to yourself. Subscribe so you don't miss the next part where I'll tell you what's coming on October 21st. A breaking point that may bring tears or liberation. A soul message or a goodbye that sets you free. Share this video with a Sagittarius friend or someone going through their awakening. They may thank you more than you know. In the next part, I'll share about the final gateway that opens on October 21st, an event that may shake you or wake you up. A whisper from an old life or a release that reclaims your soul. Don't miss it, because this is the turning of the karmic wheel, where you don't just change direction, you change your frequency of living. You didn't land on this video by accident, and you didn't pause at minute 23 out of curiosity. You're still here because your soul heard a call that your mind couldn't name yet. And I'm here to remind you, you are the chosen one. Not in some overly mystical or dramatic way, but chosen to see, to awaken, to rise when so many others chose to turn away. Some souls came here to live within the lines, but Sagittarius, you came to break them. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to spark something new. You weren't made to be pleasing. You were made to be the voice that makes others rethink what they thought they knew. You are the flicker of light in the darkest hour, the spark that refuses to die out in this chaotic age. If you've ever felt like you don't belong, that wasn't a flaw, it was design. You are not a glitch in the system. You are the code sent to change it. Write in the comments, I am the chosen one, here to spread the light. I know, you've been hurt, you've lost faith, you've stayed silent while noise filled the world, because no one seemed to understand your heart. And still, you kept walking. And that journey, those cracks in your spirit, they've become the light that guides others who are still lost. I don't believe the chosen ones are perfect. I believe they're the ones who broke and chose healing instead of giving up. You don't have to be strong all the time. You just have to be honest about what you're going through and willing to walk through it, because every honest step becomes a signal for someone out there who's still trying to find their way out of the dark. The universe doesn't send formal invitations, it sends synchronicities. Little nudges, a recurring dream, a moment you can't shake. And then, a video like this appears on your screen, out of millions of possibilities. You stopped here. Do you know why? Because your soul is tired of pretending, and it's time to return. Return, not to who you were, but to who you've always been, before the world told you to hide it. You don't need thousands of followers. You don't need titles or platforms. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you, unfiltered, clear, brave enough to show up as your true self. When you live in truth, your frequency shifts, and your frequency reaches those who need it. You don't know whose heart might be healed, because you shared your story. You don't know who might rise up again, because you didn't give up. If you believe your story could be a light for someone else, share this video. Because light is never meant to be kept. It grows when you let it shine. And if you could hear the voice of your future self, the version of you 5, 10, 20 years from now, what would they say? Maybe they'd place a hand over your heart and whisper, "Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for believing even when nothing made sense. Thank you for walking forward so I, your future self, could live in freedom." And if you feel it, close your eyes for just a moment, take a deep breath, and gently whisper inside, "I have returned to myself." From this moment on, you are no longer the one who sleeps through life, no longer the one who asks why, but the one who says, "I am ready." From now on, you don't live to avoid the truth. You live to bring it into the light. Each step you take, each choice you make, each energy you hold, becomes a part of your mission to awaken the collective light. And if enough chosen souls awaken together, this world will change. Leave a comment as a soul mark. I am the chosen one. I no longer hide my light. Like this video if something deep just moved within you. Subscribe to receive the next message, where I'll guide you on how to use the energy of October 21st to activate your new flow of money, love, and soul alignment. And share this video as a silent call to the souls still waiting to awaken. In the next episode, I'll reveal what doors are opening between October 21st and 31st, why this moment is your sacred turning point to act from your soul, not your fear, and how to awaken the great Sagittarius frequency inside you, not through knowledge, but through your embodied presence. The shift is already here. The question is no longer can you feel it, but are you ready to live differently because of it? You don't have to be fully ready. The universe doesn't ask for perfect answers. You don't need a map. You don't need a perfect plan. You only need to trust and open. October 21st may arrive quietly, no fireworks, no big signs. But once you feel the subtle movement within, you'll understand something just shifted, and you will never be the same. You don't need to carry fear. You don't need to keep the old agreements, the expectations of others, or the masks you once wore to survive. Just bring your honest heart. Bring a soft gaze toward yourself. Bring the silent courage to step into unfamiliar ground. This is not a place where you prove your worth. This is a place where you remember you've always been enough once you stop hiding your light. If your heart is beating differently, if your eyes sting for no reason, if there's a pause inside your chest right now, know this. Your soul has just been touched, not by me, but by you, the real you, who is slowly returning. I believe a new you is rising from within, a version of you that no longer follows the old script, one who now understands not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Not every broken dream is a dead end. Some things must fall, so your heart has room for what comes next. Write in the comments, I am ready to enter my new chapter with an honest heart. This is not a declaration for me. It's a message for your soul, to hear you say what it's been waiting for so long. In the next video, we will step into the most powerful phase, October 21st to 31st, a window where the universe won't just take you farther, it will place you in your rightful seat of energetic power. Together, we will cross the portal of spiritual restructuring, the first signs of financial movement, and an unexpected shift in a soul-level connection emotion. This will be the moment when you no longer just see, you act. You no longer just listen, you become the voice that guides others. I know you're tired, I know you've been broken, I know you've forgiven what should not have been forgiven, just so you could keep going. And I want you to know, you are not walking alone, we are walking together. Video by video, heartbeat by heartbeat, whisper by whisper, left in the comments below. This is how the light spreads, not through grand gestures, but through real steady frequencies, from one awakened soul to another waiting to be stirred. If you feel seen, if you feel held on this journey, like this video as a way to reconnect with your energy. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next video, your new chapter truly begins. I'm here, and I'll be waiting for you on the other side of the gate.